I have noticed that throughout history, whenever the birth rate has been high, the social status of women has been low. And this makes sense. This is not a pure coincidence. This is reasonable. Because if a woman has a lot of babies, and if each one takes 9 months, and so far this is one thing the Industrial Revolution has not been able to change, nor does it help to get more men on the job. And besides, I don't know if any of you people have noticed it, but after the baby is born, it hangs around the mother an awful lot for a while. And before the baby stops hanging around the mother, there's another one on the way, and then another one, and then another one. And the woman has all she can do to bear the babies and suckle the babies and take care of the babies and clean the house and cook and pull the plow when the horse isn't feeling good and things like that. And under circumstances like that, you're going to waste time educating a woman? For what? You're going to waste time expecting her to do things that are human, like helping to run the world? Of course not. Poor thing has enough work to do. So she just stays there, ignorant and without shoes, and working away until she dies, but then she's easy to replace. On the other hand, and those periods in world history, not too long, and those areas, not too extended, in which women have had reasonable treatment, treated as kind of subhuman men, the birth rate has dropped automatically. In fact, people right away start worrying about race suicide as soon as the birth rate drops. Never worry about race suicide as the population goes up. This is a peculiarity of the human species. And you say, why on earth should the birth rate drop? Since absolutely the highest calling any woman can possibly aspire to is that of being a wife and mother. What else can she possibly want to do? You hear all over the place about how great it is, motherhood, you know? And I mistrust that because I always figure that anything that has to be pushed that hard can't be that good. I figure nobody goes around saying, eat. You know, it'll keep your strength up. Nobody goes around with billboards saying, don't be a fool, breathe. So that when you're forever being told how great it is to have lots of children, I figure, someone's getting something out of it. Besides, I figure having children are that great, men have figured out a way to do it. Mind you, I'm not against children. I have 2 of my own. Of course, when I say I had 2 of my own, they didn't do much. No man ever does. But still, I wouldn't want people not to have any children, because if children stop altogether, then the human race comes to an end in less than a century, no matter how many of us there are. But to say you don't want no children doesn't mean you want all women to be baby machines. There's such a thing as moderation. 1 or 2 children is plenty. Can a woman be satisfied with 1 or 2 children? Sure she can. Why not? It isn't so great having a lot of children. If you have nothing else to do, certainly. And the population will automatically drop. And in addition, the brain power of the human species would automatically be doubled as far as honest use of it was concerned, without adding a single person to the actual population. Might be more than doubled. We've never given women a chance. They may be smarter than us. Of course, some men are afraid of this. They feel that they'll be sharing some of their precious privileges. Don't look at it that way. You're sharing some of your responsibilities. My own feeling is it's about time that women did half the work in the world. And took half the risks and half the blame and all the rest of it. In fact, who knows? The last act of male chauvinism on earth may be that of forcing women to take their share, much against their will. Too darn many women are so happy at having hats taken off in their presence and being helped across the street that they don't mind being slaves in exchange. And I say we don't need this kind of women. So, there's my solution. You'll give women equal rights in every possible respect. The birth rate will go down, the population will be stabilized, humanity will survive, so that women's lib is vital not only for women, but for men too. Of course, people say to me, how are you going to persuade all the different places on the earth to grant equal rights to women, even macho communities like south of the border, and old traditional places where women have for thousands of years been considered a domestic animal, somewhat higher than the ox perhaps, but definitely lower than the horse. And I feel that what's going to happen is, as population goes up, it's going to be clear to governments all over the world that things are just going very bad and they'll have to do something. And I'm convinced that there'll be no way of handling the problem humanely except by giving women equality, forcing women to accept equality. Of course, you know what human beings are like. They may prefer inhumane methods like forcible sterilization, like massacres, like all sorts of fun things like that there. And to people who are against birth control, I suppose this is preferable. At least I can't imagine why else they should be opposed to birth control.